From Miami, this is the 16th annual...
I'm with Steve Reynolds right now, who virtually in the 7-Eleven has a brand new boat, especially that cockpit.
Oh, Jim, you know, today's kind of a maiden voyage for the 7-Eleven under its new configuration, new sponsons, new canopy, but everything else stays the same. I've still got a great crew, and the engines are the same. I think we're going to do pretty good at this race.
This is the time to prove yourself.
This is the one, now or never.
And the top qualifier in this heat, the Miss 7-Eleven, with Steve Reynolds at better than 117 miles per hour.
Jim, let's get a reaction from some of the other camps about the Miller. The Miller's withdrawn, Steve Woomer. You were going to face him in 2A, but now there's only 2 turbines left.
Well, obviously they're saving their equipment for the Detroit race. The Gold Cup's only 2 weeks away, and salt's hard on the turbine engines.
But they're saying the same thing, though. Temperature's been a real problem for them.
Well, it's been for us also, but we managed to bring it down a little bit in this last heat. And after all, this is the first heat we've ever finished in saltwater, so we're pretty tickled about that. We'll be in 2A.
We've also gotten word that here are the 3 existing remaining boats for Heat 2A. On the inside is the Miss Madison. In the middle, the Bud Turbine. On the outside, the 7-Eleven. Here comes Heat 2A. That machine gun-like sound is coming from the 7-Eleven. That's a compressor stall, which means the Bud Turbine. And again, you hear the struggling 7-Eleven with those temperature problems. But if they can finish, they'll pick up another 225 points.
Just let him go around that fast.
Steve Woomer's saying just keep it going. So a lot of concern coming out of the 7-Eleven camp. The boat's still running, and of course they don't want to damage the engine any further, but if they can get the points without hurting the boat, they will do so. Back to the 2-boat race in first place on the right. Ron Snyder and the Miss Madison going against the state-of-the-art boat, the Budweiser Turbine, and Jim Cropfeld out of Cincinnati, Ohio. On the inside, Snyder hugging the buoys and trying to hold on to lane number 1. Reynolds trying to stay alive and pick up another 225 points. This very course in Miami. The 7-Eleven again holding on to 3rd place, a 3-boat heat here under the threatening skies of Miami. We're going to get a thunder shower before it's over with. You still hear that machine gun-like sound, the compressor stalling of the 7-Eleven. Once they get that straightened out, probably when they get into fresh water up in Detroit in a couple of weeks. Holding on to lane number 1, going way wide is Cropfeld trying to stay away from that rooster tail of the Miss Madison, and now he has overtaken Ron and heading down. He finishes this heat in first place. He would have 800 for the day. Steve Reynolds again looking for points rather than speed right now. Budweiser Turbine, 400 points, first place, Heat 2A, and the Miss Madison with Ron Snyder second.
Cropfeld, I too am concerned about the heat, but the advantage that I have and that I really enjoy is the fact that I have far more visibility than I had before. We've cut the canopy here, the cockpit down a little bit lower so that I can see. Safety is my light for it. I really enjoy the safety factor. Visibility, safety, 2 big pluses for the canopy.
And the Miss 7-Eleven, the turbine-powered boat driven by Steve Reynolds. To summarize Heat 1B, the weather became worse. The water conditions very, very bad. And the winning speed was only 107 miles per hour for the 7-Eleven. The 7-Eleven, after the frustrations in Miami, able to get a heat victory. And the Budweiser Turbine, a winner in Miami, as we said earlier, finished 2nd place. So the points went like this. The 7-Eleven with 400 points. The Budweiser Don Poyer along with Jim Henrik. Heat 2A coming up. 7-Eleven and the Miller American both with 400. And the Bud Turbine with the 2nd place earlier in the day. Cellular 1 still looking for points. All 3 boats easily there in time, not too early. The Bud Turbine in 3rd place. Miller American in first. 7-Eleven on his outside hip as they go into the Belle Isle turn. A lot of air under the Miller American in the 7-Eleven right now going into that turn. Oh, look at the air under the 7-Eleven as they go into that rocky part of the course in that area. Chip trying to negotiate that turn. It is getting very choppy. Here comes the Bud Turbine into 2nd place going down the back chute. That Bud, they have tested it all week trying to get it calmed down a little bit, a little more responsive to driver Jim Cropfeld. But the Miller American in first place coming around the rooster tail turn on lap number 1. The speed for the Miller American about 117 miles per hour. Good battle for 2nd and 3rd between the 7-Eleven and the Bud Turbine. From atop the Detroit Towers, our camera out on top. Dave White, the cameraman, as he sees this. The two boats going for second and third. 7-Eleven and the Bud Turbine. Miller American in first place as they go around again. That very wide turn. Chip Hanauer, the national champion of 1985 in the Miller American, trying to do it again here in 1986. Steve Reynolds out of Seattle in the 7-Eleven. In second place, going against Jim Cropfeld, this man, he's got a new ride. This boat won in Miami 2 weeks ago, and they're trying to tame it down just a bit. Past the Whittier Hotel, there he is now going into that Belle Isle turn, and it is very rough. Look at the air getting under the 7-Eleven. And that boat turns extremely well, but is taking quite a pounding. And again, attrition is a key, but look at this boat. A lot of air under it, but it recovers so well as it comes around the tight turn and heads past the pits and down towards the main straightaway. Second place, 7-Eleven. Down past the Detroit Yacht Club, the Miller American, Chip Hanauer. And the 7-Eleven is going dead in the water, losing power. 7-Eleven slowing down to a halt as Steve Reynolds got to wonder what happened to his engine now. The Miller American and the Bud Turbine. As for the others, we don't know yet. Let's talk to Jim Cropfeld. And speed, 116 miles per hour, likewise for the Miller American. 7-Eleven, Reynolds not giving up, trying to keep that boat running. So for the Miller American, a perfect day thus far. They have the big one. And while the Budweiser camp is happy, Jerry Verhill, team manager of the 7-Eleven, trying to take care of problems so that they will be ready for the final of 1986. And the 7-Eleven, the All-Stars are here. All 5 boats are now running for the start of the final here in the 1986 Budweiser Gold Cup. His father, Stan Hanauer, watching from the Miller American camp. Look at the air under the boat, the water throwing the boat around as he comes around that tight rooster tail turn on lap number 1. The Miller American with the sun setting. Here's the 7-Eleven going around the same turn and heading down the main chute. The Budweiser Griffin, Scotty Pierce, fighting his way back into the pack. Crew watching as much as they can. They really can't see the far turn from the pits down at the Rooster Tail turn. Here comes the 7-Eleven coming up and challenging Ron Snyder. Again, the difference you saw between first and second. The 7-Eleven with Steve Reynolds moving around, due for a victory. This boat, one of the best turning boats in the circuit. New spot, first place, Chip Hanauer. Many people have tried to compare him with Garwood of the 1917 through 1921 reign. Chip Hanauer, a full-time driver now, race driver, who also has a degree in special education. Steve Reed, and go along in the record books along with Garwood of the early 1900s vintage racing. Chip Hanauer in first place, second place. Jim Cropfeld airing out the Budweiser turbine, trying to catch Hanauer, though. Configuration totally different. And again, Hanauer concentrating. He calls this the Yankee Stadium of boat racing, the Super Bowl, all molded into one when you race in Detroit. The 7-Eleven, look, it's lost its entire back wing. The support's leaning against the tailpipe. And here comes the Bud Griffin. He is going to tie Garwood's record. A 65-year-old record is now tied by Chip Hanauer in the Miller American, winner of the 86 Budweiser Gold Cup. Second place in a great effort on the part of Jim Cropfeld and the Bud Turbine. It's Miller American, winner of 5 straight Gold Cups. Second place Budweiser Turbine, then the Bud Griffin, the 7.
The 7-Eleven Turbine, driven by Steve Reynolds, his qualifying speed 117.325.
Steve Reynolds and the Miss 7-Eleven, the Turbine boat, looking to turn things around here at Madison. He won last year. We have talked about this for a number of years. You hear the PA announcer behind us as the boats on the flying start come under the Madison-Milton Bridge. 4 boats, 7-Eleven. There's the Miller American with Chip Hanauer, and it's a good start here in Madison for Heat 1A. Long straightaways here in Madison, Indiana on the Ohio River. This the turbo, or rather the turbine engine for the Miller and, of course, the 7-Eleven. And all 3 turbines will be running in this one. This should be a gem. In third is the 7-Eleven, running much better now. Let's see if Reynolds can catch up with the pack. But Jim Cropfeld trying to run away from the Miller American down the back chute. Oh, walking left and right on the spots as he goes. Here comes Chip Hanauer with another 400 points in the checkered flag. First place, Miller American. Second place, Budweiser Turbine. Our best race of the day. Just about set. Miller American and the Budweiser Turbine in good shape. They will make the final, and we will have that and our merchandise. Jerry Verhill, the crew chief from the 7-Eleven. His driver, Steve Reynolds. Reynolds on the outside, Ron Snyder on the inside in the Holson Miss Madison as they go into that first turn. The slight dog leg to the left on this 2-mile course here on the Ohio River. The Evansville Thunder on the Ohio, one of the greatest places in the country to race. And you see Snyder with great position, keeping the 7-11 on his outside hip as they go into the turn. Reynolds with a turbine engine. Steve Woomer, the owner of that boat, watching his driver Steve Reynolds now coming into the turn. A beautifully handling boat. Very, very good turning boat with the big air scoop on top. That was added in Detroit after discovering the engine needed more air while racing down in Miami. Coming down on lap number 1, the 7-11 in the lead, and the speed 124 miles per hour for the 7-11. Good race for second and third. Joe Ritchie, Spirit of America, in second place, and Snyder on the outside. But the leader right now, the man out of Seattle, Washington, looking for his first victory. Oh, you can hear it. That's a compressor stall of the turbine engine, which means the engine either needs more air, more fuel. Something is wrong. But in the meantime, Reynolds holds on to first place. Jack Schaefer Jr., the man who qualified earlier today, back to the 7-11 in the lead in the opposite turn of Schaefer and the Miss Freedoms Festival. This is Reynolds. Again, that scoop was added in Detroit, and they've even cut away more of the fiberglass inside to force more air into that Lycoming engine. Snyder, third place in the Holson Miss Madison. First place, the 7-11. The boat with brand new sponsons. They've had engine problems in the past, and they are today, it sounds like, even though he's maintaining a pretty good speed of 122 miles per hour. A Merlin piston engine powers the Joe Ritchie Spirit of America, and an Allison turbocharged engine, as we saw in Ron Snyder's Holson Miss Madison. Coming down the main straightaway again, here on the Ohio, Steve Reynolds. Hear the whine of the propeller. That's the propeller going in and out of the water. You can even hear the water hitting the sponsons because the engine is so quiet. A rough ride, as you saw, for Jack Schaefer Jr. Anytime you're sitting behind the engine back near the transom, it is 3 times as rough as it might be in a cab-over design boat. Now watch Snyder here. Watch his head bouncing back and forth. Can you imagine the rough ride he is going through as he goes into a turn? He doesn't have seatbelts either like this man, Steve Reynolds, in the cab-over design and the enclosed cockpit, an F-16 canopy over it, plus a 5-point belt safety system that keeps him into the seat. Steve Reynolds heading down the straightaway for the last time. Second place for this man, Tom Deep and the Joe Ritchie, but first place goes to Steve Reynolds of the 7-11, 400 points to the turbine boat, and 300 to the Joe Ritchie Spirit of America, Tom Deep. Third place, Snyder, and the Holson Miss Madison. Here are the results, and we have just gotten word from the tower that the Joe Ritchie was disqualified. So the Holson Miss Madison gets 300 points, and the Freedom Festival 225. We'll talk about that in a moment, but first let's talk to the winner of the heat, Steve Reynolds.
Looks like the boat is running a lot better than last week.
We've still got some minor engine problems. You know, the thing is still compressor stalling a little bit, and I still think that I'm down about 15 miles an hour on the top end, but kind of hard to find fault with the wind, isn't it?
Steve Reynolds hoping to suck more air, ram it into that Lycoming L7 turbine engine with 2,650 horsepower, but right now he's not getting that kind of horsepower as he's struggling along, hoping to get at least second place points. With second place points, he should get into second place to the 7-11. He has one more lap to go, but he will pick up second place points. 7-11 putting in a new engine. Let's talk to 3 of the turbine drivers.
Steve, some engine problems in 2B. You don't have one of your hotter engines now. What about it for the farm?
Well, this is not our bullet, but it's not our worst engine either. We're still chasing the fuel starvation problem and the over-temp problem. I'm really not sure where it is. I don't know that we know. We're just going to take a systematic approach to it like we have at the beginning of the year. We track one thing down at a time, and then we're going to continue to do that process. The engine that we've got in there is a good engine, and I guarantee you that this team will get everything there is to be had from it.
Here are the final numbers. The Budweiser getting the victory, a perfect day, 3 victories. The Joe Ritchie Spirit of America, the 7-11. Some conclusive evidence. Part of the buoy still hanging on the wing of the 7-11, and that is why they are getting 4th place points. Reynolds was referring to the fact that himself, along with Crofeld, switched boats momentarily. A couple of surprise donors, too.
Steve, you need points real badly, obviously.
Well, then I just have to go out and get some.
Glad to see you got in the right boat.
Yeah, well, you know, I got the colors mixed up, you know.
Go get him.
Thank you, buddy.
Reynolds was referring to the fact that himself, along with Crockfeld, switched boats momentarily, and a good friend of the man in the cockpit of this boat. Jim Crockfeld out of Cincinnati, Ohio, Seabold out of St. Louis. A couple of Midwestern boys that know how to drive boats. That's putting it mildly. Budweiser in first place, and it will be 400 points for Jim Crockfeld out of Cincinnati and the Budweiser Turbine Team. On to the final for the Bud and its meeting with the Miller American. Second place to Steve Reynolds. He's got enough points. He'll be in the final as well.
We're supposed to be okay. If it doesn't do what it's supposed to, we're probably...
Johnny, what concerns you the most?
If I can get the RPM of the M2 up. We've got the engine cooled down. I don't know. We made a little change this morning and we lost 100 degrees, and we've been hunting for that for 2 months. Now we're trying to tune it up.
In other words, get more power now.
Yeah, we need more output shaft speed. And if he's only running 84, 85%, and if they put the 95 or 100 step back, I'll tell you, get right after it.
With another great start. I don't know if he took the first turn too tight or not, but in the meantime, he now has Chip Hanauer on the inside. Here come the two boats now down the main straightaway. Look how close they get. 33.7 for the Squire, 131.5. There's the 7-Eleven in third place. Forcing the Squire shop to go out wide. Now moving into lane number 1 is the 7-Eleven and Steve Reynolds is the first alternate boat, replacing the Budweiser, which could not get started. We have got word from Steve Reynolds still with about 85% of the checkered flag awaiting. Chip Hanauer, victory number 21, his third in 1986. The Miller American, slight damage on the tailpipe, is the winner here in Tri-Cities. Second place, the Squire Shop. So the key here for the Miller American is the fact that they have cut away at that big lead for the Budweiser in National.